As a salesperson at South Carolina Federal, there's a lot that I do each and every day that I get paid for. There's a lot of things I do every day that I don't get paid for, and it's been interesting how these tend to be the most rewarding experience that I've had while working at the credit union. Just the other day, I had a mom and her daughters come in to open a new savings account for the little girls, and it was real neat. The mom just kind of stepped back and said, "You're opening the account for the girls, so why don't you talk with them?" And I was able to ask them their phone numbers, their address, where they got the money, what they were doing with it, where were they going, what were they doing, and it was real neat that mom would pitch in from time to time, but mostly just sat by and smiled as, you know, these girls were having their first experience at a bank, and I had the freedom to make it fun for them. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about working at South Carolina Federal is the opportunity to really build relationships with the people who come through the door. In a world with so many options for banking, I want to show you a little bit why South Carolina Federal is a good option for you to choose as your primary financial institution. The next few minutes we're going to discuss the challenge of finding the right banking option for you and your family, why South Carolina Federal should be part of that decision, and then also some of the benefits of being a member at South Carolina Federal. We can't ignore the fact that we need banks. It's something that we all have to participate in to get paid. Direct deposits are coming to our banks these days to save money. The mattress technique isn't quite as successful as keeping your money in a bank. We've got to purchase vehicles, we need to purchase homes. Oftentimes we need financing for that. And then we want to establish a financial future for us and for our family. And so banks help us with this process. So many different options, so how do we decide? How do we know which is the best option for us? We moved recently from Ohio and had to choose a new bank. So we made a decision based on availability. We wanted something that we could access all over the place. It turned out to be one of the bigger mistakes we've made because our experience with that institution was not what we were hoping for. The good news is it gave me us the opportunity to compare that to South Carolina Federal where we're at now and to really appreciate the difference between a bank and a credit union. And so the question is, why a credit union? Well, the first thing is that credit unions are owned by its members. A bank is going to be owned by stockholders, and at the end of the year, when profits are made, the first thing the banks have to do is pay their shareholders. At a credit union, the profit that's made at the end of the year is given back to the members. And it's a co-op that was originally established because there were people who didn't have the money, didn't have the social status to get involved in banks, and so they started to take care of themselves. What does that look like? It looks like reduced fees, very competitive interest rates on financing. It shows itself in services that are available to you that compete with the bigger banks. And technology used to be a problem for credit unions. It's not anymore. South Carolina Federal is right on the front line of mobile banking and all the other technical stuff that happens from protection to access to funds nationwide. And so one of the differences with a credit union versus a bank is a focus on relationship. People helping people was what credit unions were established on, and this is the mantra that carries South Carolina Federal each and every day. From using names when people come in to specialized service for each individual member, the relationship becomes the linchpin for South Carolina Federal. And there's a presence in the community. From access to 40,000 ATMs across the country through a co-op program to branches all over Charleston, South Carolina Federal is available, and they reach out to the community with free training classes, educational programs, community events, and things of this nature. So South Carolina Federal is a group that credit union you can be a part of and really feel proud about what they're doing outside of taking care of your money. So I want you to do something for me. Everybody close your eyes. I know this is a little dangerous, but let's close our eyes and imagine something. You're heading into the credit union on a beautiful sunny day. You're there to open a new account for your daughter, and you come in and someone meets you at the door, recognizes you by name because you've already been building a relationship with them. They come back and you see a neighbor across the credit union, say hi to them, and then there's the old guy who's at the credit union every day by the coffee machine, so you talk to him for a little bit. Come back to get the account open and start to talk a little bit, realize, hey, I need to buy a car, and you realize that, hey, rates are fantastic at the credit union, we can help you and save some money. When you leave, everybody says goodbye by name, and you leave kind of feeling a little bit more like a family member than a customer. This is the goal at South Carolina Federal, to make these major moments in life that are often stressful, confusing, a little difficult, very easy. To make mundane, day-to-day banking activities a little more exciting. It's nice to deposit a check and actually have a real conversation with somebody. And then to provide products and services that are equal to or better than any other financial institution you can get involved in. So overall, we've talked a little bit about what we all face. We all need a bank. We need somewhere to store our money. We talked about some of the options that South Carolina Federal provides. Services, products, convenience, technology, and a family atmosphere that makes financial transactions just a little bit easier. So I hope if you're not already a member at South Carolina Federal, you'll at least consider making us your financial institution. And if you have any other additional questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those for you. Thank you so much.